Yes.
Okay. Shiva and Anil, it seems like they are new to this batch. Maybe they're here just to see what kind of concept that we are covering as part of this course. It seems like Anil, Shiva, is it right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Just give me a second. We'll start it. Okay. So I'll just give a brief introduction, then we'll. Yeah. Let me share my screen. Yeah. So we are actually running a program called Network Elite program, which covers a lot of L2 level 2 topics. As part of that, we cover in detail Palo Alto and also FortiGate firewalls and some in-depth concepts of basics and 2 or 3 special classes on CASP. CASP is nothing but a cloud proxy firewall, which we call it as a cloud access broker, security broker, CASB. For example, Zscaler or Prisma Access, preferably Zscaler. Zscaler have 3 modules, ZIA, ZPA, and digital experience. We'll have any 2 modules, ZIA and ZPA, which are more relevant for this course. Instead of having a physical firewall in the site, you can have your cloud firewall like a Zscaler and control everything in the cloud itself. Very easy to manage, easy to handle enterprise network when the users are in remote. Okay, so those kind of stuff that we cover. Basically, we cover a lot of L2 topics like scratch from Palo Alto firewall. We cover everything like starting up the configuration of the Palo Alto to till configuring the ZIA and HA and managing the high-end data center firewalls, right? The GUI dashboards, CLA dashboards, CLA command lines, GUI dashboards, everything we will discuss and simulate and practice even in your GNS3. Once you are in office, your GNS3 will be deployed along with your um, Palo Alto and FortiGate firewall inside your own personal laptops, where you can actually practice the same simulations at home as well, based on the class that we covered on that particular day. Okay, majorly this is an L2 course. Discuss about the network security in detail in a overall and the difference between network security, cyber security, and information security. End of this course, you will be able to know the approach of the differences between these many securities in the enterprise network, and on top of that, what kind of role that you can take up based on the opportunities, and you can enhance your career set. So it's like covering multiple topics in detail, covering of multiple topics in detail. I'll just give some slides for the day. We have Shiva, Anil, Shreyas, Jashwant, Hishwar. Okay. Yeah, I'll just give a basic today for the day because a lot of new people joined. So what is the role of network security in our firewalls in the concept of network security? So every organization have their own network setup, their own information, their own network infrastructure. So nowadays, internet world evolved like anything where the bandwidths got increased, getting 100 Gbps links also in the data centers, it became very easy. And the cost of managing these internet links reduced a lot. Earlier, to take in 1 MB circuit, uh, it was like, $1,000 to $2,000 circuit, where nowadays we are getting 1 Gbps connections at $150, $200. Usually, I'm talking about states. So when the bandwidths increased, the exposure get increased also. So the network infrastructure that you build in your day-to-day network is getting exposed to the internet world because of the lot of bandwidths and the lot of fluidic nature of the internet world. So that being said, the role of a firewall in the network always to sit at the perimeter. To sit at the perimeter means to sit at the network perimeter. For example, this is your network. You have a lot of infrastructure inside it, routers, switches, your users, your information, your data, servers, XYZ. Firewall always sits at the perimeter. Firewall always sits at the perimeter, and whoever coming in and whoever going out, the firewall has to check in, validate it, deep packet inspect it, and ensure that that is a safe traffic. No malware, no virus, no spywares, no not required quantities being scanned or being shared to the external attackers, right? So the exposure, to minimize the exposure of your internal network, that blue color, your internal network, to the external internet world. Okay, this is one side of the firewall. Firewall can also be internal. Some sort of segmentations needed, where some sort of DMZ zones, some sort of internal secure zones, right? From your internal LAN itself, where you can separate it with your internal firewall as well. So keeping a firewall always in the middle ensures that your network is get scanned, thoroughly validated, verified whenever any traffic is passing between your internal network to external network, majorly. So the role of firewall is to ensure that all the network, both in and out, is scanned, only allowed based on the rule set. Any unauthorized accesses should be blocked. Cyber threats like virus attacks, right, is scanned and sensitively making it safe, and also make your network compliant and also legal regulated. If at all you are handling, for example, credit card project, so you should be first of all compliant and also legally regulated, to show that to that client, saying, hey, our network is compliant, secured. Yes, we are okay to run the credit card business inside our network. So the role of firewall is very heavy. The role of firewall is very important in the network. So network security majorly deals with firewalls, but just not only with the firewalls. We have a lot of layers even in the network security. So we are going to discuss about them down the line. So the role of firewall is vital. So our part of this course, we are going to discuss about a lot about firewalls, a lot about in-depth knowledge of firewalls, content filtering, antiviruses, spywares, threat management, licenses, how to manage these firewalls, how to ensure the BCPs, business continuity plans, how to ensure the DRs, what is the significance of NATing, significance of network address translations, significance of VPNs, global protect VPNs, SSL VPNs, IPsec VPNs, what is the significance of the encryption algorithms, integrity algorithms, and hashing algorithms. We're going to discuss as part of this course in detail. In detail means you'll see lively building a VPN tunnel between a FortiGate firewall and a Palo Alto firewall, something like that. Like how to set it up, how to troubleshoot it, what are the phases of it. Okay, how corporate builds their VPN tunnels, what is the encryption mechanisms they use. If at all someone asks you in the interview, for example, you are okay to face the interview after a month or so, after completing this course, you should be in a position to give that interview very confidently and understand all these VPN technologies, all the security technologies, all these network security technologies, and the concepts in detail. Okay, the cybersecurity landscape, right? It as I mentioned, right, the landscape and the exposure got increased a lot in the current day world, where advanced threats, zero-day threats, a lot of threats are attacking the internal networks and compromising a lot of things in the infra. If you recently heard, Pune Infosys office got attacked by cyber attackers, and got stolen 49,000 credit card information, and immediately within fraction of hours time, in a way, 1 2 hours time, nearly 100 crores of money got utilized in US once the information stolen in Pune ODC. We recently see that such kind of attacks, right? Eventually, put your organization's credibility credibility down always. So the role of network security engineers is very high, and nowadays we are seeing a lot of what do you say, job layoffs. Recently TCS laid off a lot of people, like nearly 12,000 people across the globe. But trust me, I never seen people from network and network security getting laid off. Means this is a kind of it. See, I'm not saying, just, in the span of 1 year or 2 years. I've been experienced in network and network security since last 18 years. I've been, in the field domain. I also currently work for one of the healthcare organization looking after the team. So I've been in the network security since 2011 in a way. So I never seen aggressively where people are laying off the network or network security or the cyber security people. The reason is network security is very vital in any organization. You cannot actually play around with the network and the network security, because the overall organizational integrity and the reputation would fall down if anything, any attack happens on any of the project or any of the infrastructure. Recently, we see one of the steel factory in Iran, one of the steel aluminum factory in Iran got attacked, and all the plant got shut down for more than 8 days because it got attacked by the cyber attack, and there were no proper controls at the network security level to yellow and deny the traffic between your internal network and the external network. Lately, it found after 7 8 days, it was found that it is because of not following the regular compliance things in the network. Okay, so these kind of concept that we are going to discuss. If you heard about Chevron is one of the US biggest oil refinery that got attacked by the cyber attackers. And what happened? The oil refinery who supplies the fuel, diesel, petrol, and the gasoline, whatever, to the entire United States, got stopped for more than 3 days. And the literally the stock market of US actually lost 10% of its core value, because when there is no fuel, people are getting panicked, no one is investing, and the stock market is getting fumbled. And so cyber attacks directly related to our life. So though you are not personally being impacted, but no, it is actually damaging our assets, reputations, and our core stock markets, XYZ, and the production of biggest plants like Chevron is like a biggest plant in the world. So the oil refinery plant where it got attacked by the cyber attacks. So the demand of the cyber security engineers, network security engineers, are very high still in the market. Sorry guys, don't mind. I'm still having my coffee, morning coffee. So so the role of cyber security engineers, network securities, I mean to say, the good network security and a good knowledgeable cyber security engineers having a good landscape still, and lot of chances in the market to explore and to enhance their knowledge sets. So learning this course eventually put you into that competent position where you would be able to understand what is a cyber attack, what is network security, what is a perimeter security, what is endpoint security, right? So all these kind of things where you can actually explore and also understand these threat landscapes and the exposures, and you can learn how to mitigate those with the firewalls, with the Palo Alto, how to mitigate with the FortiGate, how to mitigate with the Zscaler, for example. These kind of topics you would learn. What is a DLP, for example, data leak prevention, how to write a DLP policy, what is a SSL decryption policy, okay, how to write it, how to understand it, what is the use of it, what is the business case for that, why I should use SSL, where I should not use those, right? Everything we are going to start from Monday in detail, or mostly on Friday from Friday onwards. Once you guys are starting, you'll start it, right? So network infrastructure having a lot of devices like a switch, router, firewall, load balancer, WAN routers, optimizers, right? But every device having its own significance in the network. Usually switch, we connect, we connect users, right? Usually, like, it's an L2 device, works with the frames, works with the MAC addresses, and the basic functionality of a switch is just flooding and forwarding the frames, and doing some VLAN segmentation, broadcast domains, XYZ. But the router is a layer 3. Majorly it is for packet filtering and packet forwarding. So no security mechanisms are actively implemented at both layer 2 and layer 3 at a network switch network router. But the firewall, technically called as working at layer 1 to layer 7, if you talk about OSA layers. So firewall is operating at layer 3 to layer 7, and it does the packet handling, inspect the packet, the packet inspect it, identify the application, identify the user, identify the content, identify the web URL as well, and URI as well, and data as well sometimes with the SSL decryption policies. Means whatever exactly you're accessing from your internal organization. For example, you're accessing on China website, a Russia website, unknowingly clicking on some malicious URLs, your firewalls can detect it and stop that URL to work on, and stop your packets, drop your network, and isolate it, quarantine it, and also report to your endpoint management tools like CrowdStrike or McAfee. So the integration of firewall in the network enhances your security at all the layers. What exactly missing in both switch and router? That's what my point is. So switch and router has their own abilities, capabilities to work in the network, but coming to firewall is a kind of an enhanced device which operates in all the layers of OSI, can identify a lot of traffics. Like a Palo Alto firewall can actually identify what browser version that exactly you're using, whether that is compatible to the compliant network or not. It can identify. It can report you saying, hey, you're using a, a malware attacked browser, or a compromised browser, or a buggy browser. You can upgrade your browser. You can also write some policy saying any browser, uh, for example, Firefox user should not access internet. Yes, you can write that. Such kind of identification firewalls can actually do, uh, and understand the patterns of the network. Pattern, that is very important. Pattern of the network, what exactly you're accessing, what is the criticality of clicking those links. Maybe Vinod and Ishwar, you might, Vamshi as well, you might be attending this class. I don't know, Anil did join. Okay. So the evolution of the firewalls are like, initially there was a packet filtering firewall, just a packet filtering firewalls with access list. Then stateful inspection firewalls came in the second generation. In the third generation, we had proxy firewalls. But but in the fourth generation, we don't have any fourth generation firewall, but we do have a next generation firewall. Our concept is, as part of this course, is to discuss about next generation firewalls. Okay. So Palo Alto and FortiGate both claim themselves as a next generation firewalls. So it emerged after 2010 mostly, all the next generation firewalls, majorly after 2014-13. So integrating all the unified threat managements into a single bundle and enabling the firewall or the perimeter security more robust, unlike earlier firewalls. So next generation firewall is nothing but a firewall which having a more robust capabilities to deeply understand the packet that is flowing in and out. We are going to discuss about all these topics in detail. In each concept, we'll attribute what is the next generation feature that is added in the Palo Alto to inspect the malwares, to inspect the threats, to inspect the SSL decryption, XYZ. We are going to attribute everything to the next generation firewall and feature. So earlier firewalls are stateless packet filtering, but nowadays all the firewalls are stateful firewalls. So what is the basic difference? And we'll discuss everything in detail while we are going through the course. So all these parameters and the features you will see on the real-time dashboard on the Palo Alto firewall. And we do have some physical firewalls in the office. You guys can come down to office and use that lab for your practice and all. You can do the simulation. Parallelly, you can also get installed your GNS3 in your own laptop, your personal laptop, and also practice the dashboard, practice the simulation, practice the CLI commands, and understand how it is behaving for each pattern of data. Okay, our lab trainers would help you. Our lab trainers would help you, and also our uh, instructors would help you to guide you how to build the simulations once you learn the theoretical part quickly. Okay, we'll ensure that all the FortiGate and Palo Alto both have the same identical features, but the way they work is bit different, right? So you need to practice and understand. Then only once you go to the market, to the interviews, you can actually prove yourself saying, okay, I know Palo Alto, I can configure the dynamic net, I can configure the Uthernet, right? What is the Uthernet? What is the dynamic net? What is the static net? What is the source net? For example, I'm saying how to apply the filterings, how to apply the app IDs, how to apply the user IDs. All these features, all these topics will be discussed, simulated, understood very carefully, discuss it further. Okay, we are going to discuss about roles of firewalls in the network, what they do, and in detail about the architecture of the Palo Alto. I was explaining this day before yesterday, if I'm not wrong. Palo Alto works with an SP3 architecture, single pass parallel processing. This is one of the robust architecture, theoretically, a robust architecture which Palo Alto defined and derived, where they promoted themselves as a next generation firewall. This is the mostly asked question in the interviews. Usually when you put your Palo Alto in your resumes, your first question that asked is, what is the architecture type in Palo Alto? Usually the reason is, when you want to understand Palo Alto in detail, Palo Alto have a lot of engines, policy engine, routing engine, right? Content engineering engine. So how Palo Alto process a packet when it comes to the ingress interface and get processed and exit the egress interface. Very interesting architecture, very easy to understand, but just one of the, you don't need to do anything, GUI to enable these architectures, but theoretically, theory is also very important for your interviews and your own knowledge, enhanced knowledges. We will discuss this in detail. So the key features of the next generation firewalls are app IDs, user IDs, content IDs. We are going to discuss in very detail. What is an app ID? What is a user ID? I'll just give a glimpse of app ID. App ID is nothing but what application that exactly you're using in your laptop. Firewalls can identify. For example, if it's a browser, it can identify. It is a secure CRT tool, it can identify. It's an installed Facebook app, it can identify. It can identify what application exactly you're using and react accordingly to the patterns that it is generating. That is the beauty of the Palo Alto firewall or the FortiGate firewall. And you're going to work on these app IDs, user IDs, and content IDs as well. We're going to discuss all these in detail, very detail about this. So you will see the initial setups, for example. So Palo Alto Networks initial setups, you will be doing it. And our course with the Palo Alto starts at the interface types, for example. Right? We are going to talk about what is this interface, how it act, what is the difference between layer 2 interface, layer 3 interface, what is the significance of both in the designing of the firewall, what is in a virtual wire, what is the significance, or how we use it, how to do the simulation on that, tap mode, what is the tap mode. So all these things we discuss in this part of this course. Okay, what is the layer 2 interface, what is the layer 3 interface, right? How to write the security policies, what is mean by rule base, how it looks like. We are going to talk very detailed from tomorrow or from Friday onwards in detail, and they will see the lab live demo also on the GUIs. Not only the Palo Alto, I just started with Palo Alto, same concepts, same concepts, same topics would be discussed even on the FortiGate firewall and also on the Zscaler. Very important. These are the three products in the market currently doing good. A lot of openings and opportunities on these two firewalls, majorly on Palo Alto and FortiGate. Of course, on the Zscaler. Zscaler engineers are very less in the market, and very huge demand for Zscaler nowadays in US and Canada market. Trust me. Okay. And what is the end agenda of this course? Okay. This course, Network Elite Program, NEP, is to enable you to understand the core of the concept. And once you complete this course, trust me, the understanding of this course enables you to work on any firewall, not only the Palo Alto firewall. One day, your organization or the company that you are doing, or the company that you are newly going to join, may use a different firewall. Maybe they use a Cloudflare firewall, or Cloud Firewall, or a Zscaler, or WatchGuard, or CyberRoam, or SonicWall. Someday they may use a different firewall altogether. So, but the concept remains same, right? So we'll enable you as part of this course to understand the core concept rather than just a vendor specific. So that enables you to work and to enhance your knowledge on any other firewall. The teaching of this course is that kind of very equipped manner in a way. We'll talk about the packet flow in detail, how Palo Alto process a packet. So how FortiGate process a packet, how Zscaler process a packet, right? By just understanding that architecture for 3 minutes, trust me, by understanding that architecture for 3 minutes, any firewall in the world, you guys can actually log in and work on. Once you complete this course, we can double ensure that the teaching of this course is equipped in that way, where once this is done, you are good to work on any other firewall. Okay, let me take 2 minutes, about aim next and what exactly we do, right? We have an experience of training 1900 people so far. Of course, 1900 was like in 2 months data. Maybe by the time it touched 2000, means we trained 2000 plus people in last 2.5 years. That is the expertise of AIMNEX, and all the AIMNEX instructors. If not me, you can actually go back and refer someone. All our instructors are experienced professionals, at least with 12 years experience plus, and all are working professionals. Means they are in the market. They are currently dealing with the current day networks and network security, cyber securities. The real-time knowledge come to the dashboard. It's not just a trained trainer. It's not a trained trainer, it's an experienced trainer. That's what I want to say. All our trainers, trust me. And the experience of aim next is not only just training personal individuals, but it also training the corporates and colleges as well, in a tie up with different colleges across the state. So we give sessions, we give trainings, we give the training modules, we give the corporate sessions. All are attributes of aimness in last 2 to 3 years. That's what we are. Okay, so we're going to start this course mostly by tomorrow or day after tomorrow in detail. Of course, Vamsi, Vinod, and other people are waiting for it. But anyway, Once we start, we'll take that pitch, that pace, and we'll go ahead. But as we have a couple of new people joining in, let them join. Let's have a intellectual group or a batch formed so that even you guys can discuss, you guys can actually simulate, practice few things. So having a good companion is also very important. That's what our opinion. So that's where we are just dragging it for another 2-3 days. But anyway, we'll start mostly by Friday, or if not tomorrow itself. So we'll move ahead without much further delay. Any questions in terms of course content, or where exactly we are leading, or any questions you guys can shoot it in next 3-4 minutes. I'll try to answer.
Sridhar.
Yeah, hi Shiva. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I'm working in HCR actually for past 3.5 years. I'm networking engineer. Like I'll do 30% of the things in networking and like 60 to 70% mostly on automation itself for like automating the scripts and all. Like will this course mm, help me to like switch the career or?
Okay. So the question that I understood in a way, like you're already working, and how this course helps me to switch my career. Okay. So definitely, but I don't want to give a vague answer. I want to ask one more question before, one or two questions to get to know more detail of your question, first of all. So when you want to shift a job, what it is related to? You want to jump into automation, or
No, no, I want to be purely in networking itself.
mm, okay. Maybe this is very useful answer even for Vamsi and Vinod. Let me elaborate it. I'll take just 1 minute. See, I'm not so pro to the automation career. Okay, that's my personal experience or personal opinion. Don't take my opinion into the consideration. That's okay. Because automation means something already there where you are automating the scripts and doing something else to do the day-to-day job. But the market is actually more demanding on the design and architects and operational and implementation engineers. Market is actually designing. Having automation knowledge where you can automate your day-to-day operation. For example, you want to back up a firewall every day morning, you can run an automation. But if you want to design something else, considering the business requirement, right? You need to have a robust knowledge. You can't automate it. For example, recently we worked on a project called IRCTC. IRCTC deployed their servers, right? What is the load of IRCTC every day? How many tickets they book? More than 25 lakhs tickets, right? Those many hits coming in. You have to design a network. You should have a load balancers. You have a firewalls. You have some switches, servers, load balancing, clustering, backup, storage, lot of things happening. Can you actually automate everything, even the design, by writing a script? See, Shiva, it's not my intention to say automation is not good. Try to understand. Automation is a day-to-day job. It's a kind of an L1, L2 job. But you wanna see yourself in L3, L4 roles, means designing, architecting, implementing. Your automation knowledge, just automation knowledge is not enough. You should have an extension knowledge on how a firewall should be in a distributed application architecture. Okay, you have a load balancer, external load balancers, how those load balancers should be. Means you have to understand the topologies, design concepts, and in line with the business requirement. You cannot put a 5000 series Palo Alto firewall for a $100 server, because the 5000 series firewall costs around 20 to 30K. Okay, hardly what you are saving. You're saving $100 asset. No. So design considerations are very important. Automation never tells that. But after completing this course, right, what eventually you get, you're working in a network, or you're working in a system admin job, you're working in some XYZ job. Nowadays, the biggest strength to any organizations, or the biggest roles coming up for any organization, is on the network security, or particularly on the security. Okay, your career would be like this. Any person with basic network knowledge can actually come and learn this, understand this concept, where they can become a network security engineers. Once you become a network security engineers, you would get a more exposure towards all these enterprise architectures. Once you get this now, you can actually become a cyber security engineer. On top of that, you can become an information security engineer. You can also become a CAO. You can also become a CISO. I know one person at just 32 years age, 32, 32. He became one of the CISO for one of the startup company, Chief Information Security Engineer. But you know his background? He started as a system admin, IT help desk guy. Then he learned network security, understood what is cyber security. Then on top of that, he topped up another course called information security and governance and compliance. Now we only deal with governance and compliance. For example, you are taking one project from UK. This project should be? What is the security compliance that is required to make it work from India? You cannot work on UK project directly. This compliance engineer or CISO signs off all these projects. So the stepping stones for all this growth is started at network security. Now what you want to become, what is your passion, where you want to see yourself in next 3-4 years, for sure this is course is going to be one of the major milestone. Okay, and aim next definitely surely enhances the thought process. And also you can also talk with mentors, leadership. We will be having some leadership classes, you'll be having some mentorship classes where you can actually go back and refine your thought processes as part of it, and we'll also refer you if we found any good opportunities in our known domains as well. Okay, maybe I hope so understand your question, but if any confusion you can still ask me another question. Shiva, are you okay?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so thank you, and we'll catch up. If you have any questions, still shoot me in the group, in the WhatsApp group. Still, I'll try to answer there. I'm always available. Not on the call, mostly on the chat, but if you want to still talk with me, yes, I'm available in the scheduled timings. Definitely we can catch up. Not a big deal. Even after the class, we can talk, we can chat, we can catch up for quick understanding, quick mentoring, quick discussion, quick doubts, XYZ. It's not only aim next, all the instructors does the same. So that is what our hierarchy is designed for, and we are equipped for. So let us complete your formalities with your coordinators or your executives, whoever you're dealing with. Then we'll start mostly tomorrow or on Friday onwards with a good pace of this course. Okay, make sense? Thank you.